There's a transformation process that we all go through as we change and grow, and I've never met anyone who is not affected by this process. So let me quickly talk you through it. There are 7 steps. Step 1 is what no longer serves you starts to fall away. So this can feel really quite liberating when we start to focus on, you know, what we actually want and what's not working. We begin to let what is not working go, and that feels great. Step 2 is exciting because we open ourselves up to new beginnings and opportunities. So we might come across new people, new friends, new groups, different opportunities may present themselves, and this feels like, yeah, I'm really getting somewhere. Step 3 is you begin to see a new direction unfolding. So yeah, I can actually see it now. What I want is beginning to happen and I can see a way forward. And again, this is the exciting part of the journey. We also, hand in hand with that, step 4 is feeling uncomfortable about it because it's new, unknown territory. So of course, fear is going to come up because, yeah, it always does. When we stretch ourselves, when we're ready to grow, even when we're excited, that fear, you know, chats away and says, oh, but this could happen and that could happen, and you don't really want to change and you don't really want to go there, and be careful and all of that, and that keeps us small. Hi, whoever's watching, say hi. That'd be lovely to know you're here with me. So I'm just talking through the transformation process and saying how, you know, we're all affected by this process, by every step. So we get to this unknown territory and it feels a bit scary. And then we get to step 5 is when we feel like giving up. We feel like giving up. It's a bit like if you've ever given birth, you will probably have experienced a point where, oh my God, I just can't do this anymore. I just want to give up. I just can't do it. I can't do it. I give up. It's all too much. See, my mind was right. My fears were right. I can't do it after all. No one's immune to this. We get to this point and it's usually just on the other side of that point where the breakthrough happens. So step 6, we want to go back to our old comfort zone. Guess what? It doesn't exist anymore. So it's not really an option. And if we do go back or stay stuck, it's depressing. We just feel stuck and suppressed. So breaking through to step 7 is where the magic happens. It's where we reach the goal. It's where, yeah, I'm doing it. I've achieved it. It feels great. You experience this new level of joy and fulfillment. Basically, we're letting go of this old conditioning. And now we can really reap the rewards and see and feel the benefits, and that feels great. It feels amazing, and people say, wow, you look great. What have you know, what's happened? What's your secret? And that's that, again, that amazing place. And then guess what? We start the cycle again. We're constantly in this state of unfolding and releasing. And sometimes that feels liberating, and sometimes it feels scary, and sometimes we want to give up, and sometimes we just want to get on. And I just want you to know that wherever you're just at a point in the process. Now, I'll also share with you that, you know, I'm certainly not immune to this process. And a couple of weeks ago on holiday, actually, at the moment, I feel like I'm honing my message. I feel my message is getting stronger. But that also, in turn, repels some people because none of us are for everyone. And I put out a really heartfelt message on, wrote this post, and I was really reaching out to anyone who felt connected with that. And someone came back and really kind of said that I was making some kind of scientific claim, and they misunderstood, they misread what I was. That wasn't my intention. That's not what I wanted to do at all. That wasn't what the thing I was writing was about, but that's what she read into it. And that's fine. Everyone has the right to their own opinion, but it triggered something in me, and that was when I was about 6. I was making a cake with my mum, and when I was little I was really confident. I was really I spoke from a really young age. I read from a really young age. I was a natural communicator, and I loved to share, and I was never a show off, or I was just being me. And my mum, bless her, making this cake with me, and she had 2 younger boys, there's 3 of us, and her hands are full and I don't stop talking. And as she's teaching me how to make this cake, I'm then sharing what I've learnt with my imaginary audience, because they're there and I'm being helpful. And she's saying, so then we break an egg. So then we break an egg, and then we add the flour, and then we add the flour. So I'm in this kind of just being me. And mum, bless her, she probably just couldn't take it anymore and said, for goodness sake, if you don't even know how to make a cake, how can you tell someone else how to make a cake? Just focus on what we're doing and listen. So my mum's very gentle, very loving. She wouldn't have meant any malice in it. But that message, because I adored her so much, that message was, well, unless I know everything, oh dear, I'd better be quiet then. And alongside that, I remember writing a thank you letter to my grandpa, and he was, very quite elderly, quite proper, and a bit cold, really, bless him, and very critical. And I wrote him a long letter, and he phoned up and he said, can I speak to Joanna, please? And mum put me on, and he said, just to let you know, you spelt there in the wrong context. It's actually THEIR in this context. And I think I was about 6. So I think those 2 messages together, coming from my family who were there to, protect me and support me and all of that, were telling me that if you really, communicate and put it out there, it's wrong. Unless you get it completely right, it's just not acceptable. So, as an adult, I can see now, well, he was trying to be helpful. And my mum had just had it up to here, and she was, oh, for goodness sake, let's just get this cake made. I can see all of that. But there's still that wound, that little thing that every now and again it gets poked, and that little girl inside of me wants to go, I want to hide. I don't want to do this anymore. So that's my experience and my example, but yours will be in a way completely different, in a different scenario. But nevertheless, we all have these I'm too something, or I'm not enough, or I'm too loud, too this, too that. And when that gets triggered, it can easily take us to that place where we just want to hide again. And, well, okay, I'm giving out this message with my heart open. Well, maybe I just won't do that. So fortunately for me, I've been a coach. I've been doing this work a long time. I've been doing work on myself for a long time. I knew that, this isn't the reality. This is just a feeling that I need to soothe and sit with and help heal that little girl, and encourage her to keep going, to step up again. And that actually, we're not going to please everyone on this journey to freedom, and it's not going to just be completely plain sailing. But you know what? The other side of that feeling out of sorts last week, or whenever it was, I've sat in that feeling. I haven't numbed it. I haven't ignored it. I've sat in it. It was unpleasant. It was uncomfortable, but that's part of the healing process. And I've spent this week, I've been clearing. I don't know if you can see behind me, I've created this lovely little space behind my desk. It's really pretty. I really love it. I've decluttered, and I've made way for new beginnings. And guess what was on the other side of that fear of being seen. Actually, this week I've collaborated with a handful of women, and we're going to do some really awesome stuff together. And you know, that's something new and bigger again. So there is something great on the other side of that fear. But it's important that you feel supported when you're in that place of fear. So that is my message to you today, my lovelies, is you're not going to not experience fear. You're not going to not experience this chattering mind that tells you that you're not good enough and that it's not safe and all of that to grow. It is safe. That is all an illusion, even though it can feel really real. But it's safe to be held in that space as you know, go through that transformation like a butterfly, struggling away in the dark before it breaks free into something magical on the other side. So I hope that helped in some ways. I just wanted to connect with you and say, keep going, because it's all worth it. It really is. We can't ignore the fact that if we don't do this work, we just remain stuck. It's not comfortable there. So let's keep stepping, baby steps out of that comfort zone and be held in the process. So have a lovely evening. I send you loads of love and I look forward to seeing you on here very, very soon. Big kisses. Bye for now. See you soon.